How's it going again, Gwent fans? I'm King Blacktooth. So I'm really super excited, and I really can't wait, because E3 is underway and CDProjectRed have just had a small bit where they officially announced Gwent, the Witcher card game. It's not just a trademark, it's actually happening. And there is a playable beta in September, closed beta, which non-embargoed, you can share it as much as you want. For PC and Xbox One. I do believe it's a PS4 as well, but not the beta, just the game. And there is crossplay with PC, Xbox One, and PlayStation 4 as well, so that's really good. Right, so I've already signed up for the closed beta. If you want to sign up for it, go to playgwent.com and sign up for it there. And there's a lot of information coming out, you know, videos and pictures, and I'm going to go through that and sort of explain what Gwent, how it's changed, and all the new information. It's so fucking good. I hope you stick with me for your Gwent content. I've been making real Gwent videos for quite some time. They do take quite a lot of effort actually, and normal Gwent videos as well, so I really hope you stick with me. But let's get into the nitty-gritty of all the new information, man. So one of the first things they said is there's only 4 decks in this game at launch: Northern Realms, Monsters, Scoia'tael and Skellige. They are going to play a little differently, but there's no Nilfgaard on launch of this game. Nilfgaard were the strongest deck in the Gwent game, so they can go suck one. I guess they weren't praising the sun enough. Also was mentioned that the game is free to play, but there are in-game options to purchase things. So I think they're very much going with a Hearthstone model, because it was very successful. They do plan on building a single-player campaign for you, and they do plan on putting a lot of content after release. So I think they're going the way of Hearthstone, which is really good, because I really enjoyed the Hearthstone campaigns, and I do like the game as well. I prefer Gwent over Hearthstone. So one of the most obvious things that they've done is changing the whole UI. So hopefully it does feel a bit cleaner, a bit more responsive, and they put a lot more information in. Cards are different. There's a lot of changes going on here. I will go over them as we come upon them. One of the first things I noticed was they wanted to put an emphasis on the 10 cards you get are the 10 cards you play with. That's your army, and that's how it's going to work. In this screenshot, you can see that you can actually redraw 3 cards rather than the standard 2. So hopefully, I do like this change. Hopefully, it will give you more chances to get an optimal hand, rather than sometimes you just got a bad hand no matter what you did. So hopefully this will improve that. They've added a hell of a lot more information on all the cards. They've got melee and loyal. So other cards have disloyal, and the card that I found that did have disloyal on it was a spy. So I'm guessing disloyal means you play it on the opponent's side, and loyal means it plays on your side. There's no special emblem around this particular card, so it's not necessarily going to mean that. It's got an Ingli. When played, if the opponent's melee row is total strength equal to or greater than 15, send the strongest card to the row to the graveyard. So Igni is basically a Scorch. It's one of those specific Scorches that Velen, Tretton, Mirth used to have. So that's what Igni is. That's one of the spells from Witcher. Also removes all frost from the battlefield. A double thing. That is so cool, because it's like a fire spell. That's really nice. I noticed Garel is only 10 strength there, where it used to be 15. This is Geralt Igni. There might be different versions of Geralt and different versions of other heroes, like Geralt, Igni, Geralt, you know, all the other types of spells that he has, which is pretty interesting. I like that they've told you who illustrated that, which is really nice as well. Here in the video you can see a perfect example of the redone UI. It is a lot on screen, there is a lot going on. Hopefully this will become very clear in the end. It shows you how many cards the opponent has, how many cards you have as well, and all the strength rows. It automatically sets that out for you, which is really nice. There seems to be a timer on the left. That is obviously necessary. I don't know what the penalty for running a timer is, because in, say, Hearthstone, the penalty is that you don't get to play any cards, but you get to keep the cards in your hand. But this game is very much about card advantage, or it used to be. It might not be anymore, we'll see. But I don't know what the penalty for running the timer down would be. In the current Gwent game, the only thing I can think of is you discard a card and you don't even get to play one, which is huge. That is not a very good answer, to be honest. So hopefully that's something we'll find out soon. Obviously we still have the siege, the range and the melee rows as well. And here we see animated cards. That's so cool. But it's got also loyal. Again, it could be a hero, but I don't see it. You've got rarity of cards here. You can say it's a rare character, which also supports the idea that they're going to be selling packs of cards because you get rare cards, legendary cards I saw, common cards, that type of thing. Good strength. It's also got Rainwalker. This is a card that I actually proposed. I actually have a real card here, which this is basically what it is. Doubles the strength when the rain glyph is on the battlefield. I actually made that card myself for my real Gwent, but I never actually got to use it. That is such a cool ability. That means you can build, hopefully, the monster deck in two different ways, because in normal Gwent it was very singular. You basically went front row melee and that was all you could do. But I really like how you could build your deck around possibly baiting them to use Biting Frost and equivalents, and then putting these cards on the board where it doubles their strength. Really like that idea. So on this part of the video, you can actually see the last card that the enemy played was a Commander's Horn, and it goes in these little icons here. One thing that I recently found out in the original Gwent game is that you can't play a Mushroom and a Commander's Horn, and as you can see, it fills up the slot quite nicely. So it feels like that is like the buff section, and on the right you can see the negative section. You've got Biting Frost, Rain, which goes on the siege row, so that's Rain Walker, is what the Toad would do, and then you've got the fog going on, so that's still similar, but it seems like it's very easy to identify. They're in the actual game now. They're less separated where the weather cards is, so you can actually see them still very nicely. So here you can still see the Scorch being used the same way as Gwent. It burns all the 3 cards, and now what you can actually see from this is there's a 6 strength card on the opponent's side. You can, if you look closely, it's got a gold ring around the 6. That must mean it's a hero card. That one gets bypassed, and all the 3 strength cards get destroyed. But there is a really weird thing going on with this Villain Trenton Mirth Scorch. Now all the 3s get destroyed, as you would expect, and the hero stays alive, but the 0 cow also gets hurt. And so does one of the 0 strength minions from his own side of the board. So there's something weird going on with that Scorch, and I'm not quite sure what it is. If you got any ideas, let me know. But we can tell that the gold emblem around the thing means it's a hero card, but the silver means they're non-hero cards. On the right we can still see Rain, which used to be called Torrential Rain, it's just called Rain now, and that still affects Siege Row's strength down to 1. We've got some other interesting icons down here on the our player's side. We've got something that looks like an eye with a sword through it. Not sure exactly what that could be. Above that you have the 2 arrows. That probably means they can be on the melee row or the ranged row. That seems fine. Above that, we've on the 12 strength one on the melee row, we have what looks like a stack of cards with an up arrow. Not sure what that could be. Could be muster, but I don't think so. It's probably something to do with looking in your deck. That's my my suspicion. On the bottom right, on the middle row with a 0 strength, you have what looked like an alchemy jar. What could that be? I'm not sure. That is very interesting. In the top right, you have the last card they played was a Blue Mountain Commando. They have an interesting symbol. Looks like that might be the muster symbol. The Blue Commando for the Northern Realms, which is not being played in this game, they were bonded. So that might be a different card altogether than the Blue Commando, Blue Striped Commando from the Northern Realms. And now on to some of the screenshots that are available for the game. So here we can see on the left, the Ancient Froglet, the last card played, has an interesting symbol as well. I'm really glad they're starting to add some extra interestingness, extra competitiveness to some of these cards. The Froglet in the original Witcher was a worthless card, but they obviously have to build this game around competitiveness, that hopefully all cards are usable. So I'm not sure what that is. That could be something to do with, it looks like it's a helmet with the fog symbol on. So I imagine the Froglet gets buffed when it's on the fog row, and that would make sense. That was another card that I actually thought up. I'm not bragging, but come on man, that's good. And on the right there we've got another card, a muster hero. So play a randomly selected hero card from your deck, discard when removed from the battlefield. Okay, so this symbol is you play a randomly selected hero card. So it's a muster card where it's random. Now the original Witcher, muster cards had to have certain rules. They can change this now. They can bring cards in which you can't put in your deck because the game, like, it's not a physical game anymore. They're putting it online at Hearthstone, so they can create cards. They can have randomly generated things coming off a lot more often, which allows you to do a lot more strategy, I think, which is really nice. Adds a bit of randomness as well, which is always good. You're going to have to build your deck around that. I do like that a lot. I like everything a lot. So here we have a couple more abilities. On the friendly ranged row, we've got our old card Leshen. Leshen, man, what happened here? You've got a bit of a strength reduction there, I see. But he does have a new ability. It looks like a pentagram symbol. I have no idea what that could be. Possibly summoning something, like summoning a demon. I don't know. And on the enemy's ranged row, we have all the Froglets again. And obviously, Impenetrable Fog has been played because the crystal is green. The little socket on the right, top right. And it looks like their strength is being affected, or in positive or negative, because it's glowing a different colour compared to other characters which aren't, which is interesting. I would postulate to you that their strength is being increased or buffed in some way, because on the friendly ranged row we have what seems to be some sort of griffin, and that strength is being reduced to 1, which is what you expect from Impenetrable Fog, but that colour is red. So that's probably a negative. And the green, yellowy, I'm a bit colourblind, of 2 and 4 of the Froglets must be some sort of buff. Now, but on the left, it does say Froglets are 4 strength, unless that's added into the case. That is highlighted in a different colour as well, though, already. Now, their symbols seem to be a helmet with fog, and what look like chains with fog. So maybe that's something to do with getting buffed when in fog, or possibly not going down as much when in fog, you know. So that's pretty interesting. I like that. One of the big changes, and this makes me so happy, is Spies, right? Because Spies dominated the original Gwent. But they've changed the way Spies work. When you play a Spy, you probably still play it on the opponent's side. That's probably what disloyal means. I would envisage. But you draw 2 cards from your deck, and one is face up and one is face down, and you pick which card you want. So if the one that's face up is absolutely crap, then you're going to take a gamble, you know, and that's nice. I like that a lot. That really makes it, but that means you're only drawing 1 card. So you're giving them, looks like, if they still actually move on to the opponent's side, you're giving them 8 strength for 1 card. That could be not a very good deal. So we have to really kind of work around that. 8 strength is a lot, or it used to be a lot. Hopefully Spies and Scoia'tael get a few, and Skellige get a few Spies now, and it's not just Northern Realms running rampant. Fuck off, Nilfgaard! You ain't getting any Spies in this game, mate. In this screenshot, we can see some of the leader abilities you've got, and they're actually a lot more different now than they used to be. Some of them weren't very good for monsters and for Scoia'tael. There were clearly some ones that were better. But here, Eredin, you can use Gwent, and you get a 15 strength hero. It's interesting. And it tells you the deck ability, and I think for monsters that's the same. At the end of each round, one of your non-hero units chosen at random stays on the battlefield. Yes, that's good. And you've got Northern Realms Fall Test. Use once, choose a loyal troop on the battlefield and spawn, and play a copy of it. My god, that is so cool. That is going to be so good with bonded ability, providing that's still in the game. I haven't saw any evidence of that yet. Northern Realms, when you lose a round, whenever you lose a round, draw 1 card from your deck to your hand. Lose a round? That used to be when you win a round. Okay, this is still subject to change, don't forget, but still, that means that's still actually only going to be 1 card per game, providing it's still on a basis of 3 rounds. So it just means when you lose one, when you pass one, you gain a card. So it actually is easier for you to get that card, because you don't have to win the rounds. On this screenshot, we can see some extra cards as well. On the opponent's siege row, we have a fist going up. I don't know what that means, but that's a new ability, I would imagine. We also have on the opponent's ranged row, medics. They are back. That's good. I really like those. And that looks like a muster ability to me. 3 strength cards, and it's got some helmets in there, so that is a muster ability. On the opponent's melee row, they have an ability which seems to be a card with an X on it and a card with a tick on it. So this is a choice card. You get two options. I'm not sure the extent of this is going to be, but here's an example where you can either add 2 strength or minus 2 strength to everyone on your row. Now, minus 2 strength to everyone on your row, it might, I assume that could be like range row for both teams. So much like a weather card, it would minus 2 from the enemy team and minus 2 from your team. It might be good in conjunction with some abilities. For example, like bonded might go down a lot more than just 2, but you might be ruining your own side as well. It depends. If they've got a lot of units on range and you've got none, apart from this guy, it might be worth sticking him on, and then minus 2 on the ranged, because then, you know, think of it as monster in the normal Gwent that we play. It would be very advantageous to you to minus 2 on all the melee, you know, especially if you're mostly on siege. So in this particular screenshot, we can see there's loads of new cards. There's still a Bite and Frost there, classic, but there's a lot of new cards, and they look like they're actually quite competitive now. Again, we can see that we can redraw 3 cards, which is really nice. This Golem it's a neutral card, so they still have neutral cards as well, which is always nice. But it's got a new ability called Death Wish. I would have never guessed this without seeing it. But when removed, spawn and play 2 lesser Golems, 2 strength siege units. So this is really good because now the game is based on the computer and multiplayer. Then we don't have to worry about them spawning things that you can't actually place into the game. So these lesser Golems, you might not actually be able to collect them, much like Hearthstone, and that's really nice because it adds some competitive play to the game. There's a nice alchemist on the left, can't see what he does, which is a shame, and we've got some basic units there, some looks like drakes and griffins and such. I may have got my terminology wrong. So this particular screen is the deck builder. There's a lot of stuff going on here, but it seems to show you also a lot more stats, how many troop cards, character cards, hero cards, special cards. Tells you a lot more information on the right. They've packed a lot more into this particular screen. You can also see, most importantly, I think, the change is how much strength, well, it looks like how much strength on the melee, on the ranged and on the siege row that your deck seems to have, which is really nice because then you can sort of estimate what it's weak to and stuff like that. So that's a really nice change. I do like the look of that quite a lot, actually. I imagine there are multiple hero leader cards, should I say. Can't really see them there, but I would imagine there are multiple because that's an obvious choice. There we go. The mushrooms on the right, you can see they used to change berserk characters for the Skellige deck into berserkers, into like big bears, but they seem to have changed the way that card is played. When you place a spore glyph on a row, it adds +4 to the strength of all non-hero units. So it's kind of like a commander's horn, but it only adds +4 strength. Now, what is the benefit of that? Here's an example. Possibly you have some 1 strength or 2 strength cards. Adding 4 to them is a lot better than doubling them. If you double a 1 strength card, it just adds 1 more to 2. If you double a 2 strength card, you add 2 more to 4. Whereas this will just add 4 strength. So these are better for low level cards. And we don't know yet, but maybe these work after weather effects. So if a weather effect reduces everyone down to 1, maybe this, you give them to this, and they'll go up to 5. You know, which is a way to salvage being weathered too harshly. Possibly. Who knows? It seems like, because in the original Gwent now, I've just discovered that you can only actually place a mushroom or a commander's horn and not both. There's quite a few hidden abilities in the deck up there. Right in the middle at the top, there's what looks like a helmet or a skull with some pips, some like upgrade system. I actually had a card built, I'm going to show these on screen, where, say, the Neckers, you'd have a Necker Warrior that had the upgrade system like that. And if you played the Necker Warrior, it would upgrade all the Neckers slightly. So it might be something around that system. And in the bottom, see the mushrooms, 2 across from that, you have a card which is like some guy sleeping or possibly dead in a dark area. And it seems to have like a bit of a beetle symbol. I'm not quite sure what that could mean, but that's another interesting card we can look forward to. So that's all the new information for Gwent so far. Obviously, the closed beta is in September. You should sign up for that if you want to at playgwent.com. I hope you'll stick with me for Gwent content. I'm really super excited. I hope you can tell by my voice. I'm just super excited for all this information. It looks like it's going to be so fucking good. Thanks for watching, guys, and I hope I haven't got anything. Take care.